Hey guys, Political Junkie 2414 here, and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to talk about, something a little. I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. I'm going to be talking about something that's been an issue on my channel for a while now. Some of you might already know what it is, but before I go any further, I want to say that this is a personal matter between me and another person that does not involve you unless you are that person. Um, so if this kind of video is not what you were looking for, don't feel obligated to watch it all the way through. Of course you can if you want to. But hopefully another video of this sort won't have to be made. So I'm gonna get started. If you don't want to watch, an apology video or kind of, get into, you don't want the drama, of the internet, I completely understand that. This is aimed towards a very specific person, and I wanted to apologize to them for my mistakes. Yeah, if you don't want to deal with that, you can get off the video, but if you're still here, I'll start. So, about a month ago, I came across a community post by a fellow political YouTuber, Tornado Sam, and Tornado Sam and I have differing political opinions, but I've subscribed to his channel and supported it, um, and I, in most cases, would consider myself, more pro Tornado Sam than I am anti, his channel. Although, of course, some of his predictions and positions are not my I don't subscribe to, but of course that's the deal. No one is exactly the same. But the post that Tornado had written was addressing another YouTuber that I was familiar with. This person is Jim Landia, more commonly known as Military Elections Forecasting. And for the sake of not sounding super redundant, or feeling sounding drawn out, I'll refer to them as MEF for short. Now, I'll warn you guys that I'm about to go on a bit of a tangent for a couple minutes. We're going to come back to this tweet, so just bear with me, or not tweet, sorry, post. Um, in military elections forecast, if you're watching this, please wait until you've watched the entire video before leaving any response in the comments section. There are a couple of things I'm about to say that will probably get on your nerves, but I'm going to try to wrap it up in a nice little bow by the end. So, my first contact with military elections forecasting happened last summer on one of my 2022 Senate election prediction videos. In the video, I brought up the stark contrast between Raphael Warnock and Stacey Abrams' performances in the Georgia Senate and governor's races. He offered and MEF offered a respectful critique, pointing out the black turnout in Georgia, or black turnout and Georgia's shift to the left from 2018 to 2020 would help Abrams defeat Kemp. And of course, Georgia's leftward, shift was, in part because of the increased black turnout. I'm going to read his original comment now, as you can see on the screen. This is what he said. I wouldn't underestimate Abrams' ability to turn out black voters. Kemp won roughly 75% of white voters and won by 1%, and Georgia was less black than now. So he's referring to the 2018 governor's race, if you guys aren't sure what he's talking about. If Abrams can convince black voters to come out for Biden, kept Ossoff over the finish line, Abrams and kept Ossoff over the finish line. Abrams won the same amount of white voters as Hillary Clinton and still did 4 points better. Unless black turnout collapses, Kemp has a small chance. So where was I? I just looked up. I'm reading from a script because I want to make sure that I am to the point and, precise. While I disagreed with Jim Landia's prediction, I left a civil response. This is what I said. You bring up a good point there. We'll have to see how Kemp performs with swing voters, but I could see that happening. Now, I can't find Jim Landia or MEF's response to this, but essentially, what he was saying, what he said after that was he further explained his point, which unfortunately, he further explained his point, and it wasn't a big deal. It was, at that point, I didn't feel any tension between the two of us. It was one, simple, it was a minor argument, and it was, a healthy argument. There was no, there was no, serious, contention between the two of us. We were just people talking about politics and offering our points of view. But as the months passed and the midterm elections approached, the little stuff started to annoy me. I didn't necessarily mind MEF commenting on my videos. In fact, sometimes sometimes I agreed with some of his points while responding with my reasoning for my predictions. However, I felt his comments at times were sometimes insincere or mocking my predictions, and I felt at times the number of comments he would leave would come off as overwhelming and obnoxious. Now, again, this is how I feel. This is not how it actually was. Would say, as and as you'll see towards the latter half of the video, that I misinterpreted a lot from Jim Landia, and and I think that this may be part of that. But we'll continue on. I just wanted to say that really quick. Where was I? Now, let me make it clear that these were simply comments. There wasn't any tone of voice to accompany his words, which, as I said, may have led to me misinterpreting his attitude towards me. Um, and after the 2022 midterms, I made a video addressing my mistakes on the Senate, House, and governor races. And in the Senate video, which I released after my December 6th, or after the December 6th runoff in Georgia, I talked about how I incorrectly predicted GOP victories in the states of Nevada and Pennsylvania. To MEF's credit, he predicted every single Senate race correctly and left comments before Election Day explaining why he disagreed with me. And this is the comment that he left from my Senate autopsy video. I told you not to underestimate Fetterman and Catherine Cortez Masto. And then I said, and this is true. What he's saying is that, he did, offer his point of view, and I had a different point of view, and did not necessarily subscribe to his opinion, and it turned out he was right. And I agree with a lot of the points he subsequently makes, but when I saw this comment, I felt that he was stating the obvious and trying to put himself up on a pedestal for being right and, me being wrong. I explained the reasons for my mistakes while also owning up to them. And I got the sense that he was talking from a place of authority, which annoyed me because at the time, he hadn't started his own channel, and I felt that he was taking credit that he hadn't earned. Again, this is how I felt. And, you'll see that, this is not me stating that this is how he felt or what he was, how he was acting. Again, it's very easy to misinterpret stuff over the internet. There's no tone. It's a problem with text messaging. It's a serious problem in the modern world. Because it can really lead to tension between people that where there was no serious argument to begin with. So I just want to make that clear. Keep repeating that, and yeah. So now I've set the scene. Let's go back to Tornado Sam's post. In case you haven't read it or forgot or did and forgot what it said, I'll read through it. Guys, I want to call your attention today to a guy named Jim Landia, aka Military Elections Forecasting. This guy is the most obnoxious, annoying, self-righteous, nasty, and disrespectful jerk I have ever met. He sees everything through a lens of race, and when other people disagree with him, he calls them racists and bigots. Does he not remember the famous words of Martin Luther King Jr., the man who himself said, "Let us not judge people by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character"? But to him, it's always the color of one's skin. He also calls people one-sided when he is the most one-sided guy ever, who believes black turnout is the only factor that influences elections. And then he says in parentheses, it's not. And he thinks I only have right-wing people on my streams when the truth is, I'm willing to have moderate Democrats on my streams as well. The guest in the first episode of my new podcast was actually an independent who Jim Landia accused of being a racist right-wing bigot. In short, avoid this user at all costs, and thank you for your time. And if you guys want to read his PS, his little postscript right here, you can. I'll stay in this position for a bit, but I'm not going to read it. Okay, yeah, you can pause the video and read that. And now where was I? And underneath, I left a comment that was that is basically said that I was sympathize. It basically showed that I was sympathizing with what Tornado Sam was saying because I also felt aggravated by Jim Landia's comments. And I'll read it. As someone who leans liberal, I completely understand your frustration, but it's practically impossible to avoid him once he finds your channel. I've been nothing but kind to Jim Landia since he started commenting on my videos last summer, yet he continues to harass me and point out my mistakes in the midterms even after I've acknowledged them every chance he gets. To be fair, he's shown more respect recently, but I'm sure he'd have something nasty to say if he was uploading more, or if I was uploading more. If Jim Landia wants to criticize our opinions, he should start making prediction videos himself. Thank you for bringing light to this problem. I'm glad I'm not the only one who feels this way. and I hope that acknowledging it makes us election YouTubers more tolerant of each other. Um, I really regret leaving this comment, and it was very unwise and uncalled for. I see that now. I made a serious mistake, and eventually, actually, I think it was the same day, MEF responded to or discovered the post that Tornado Sam had made, and then saw the comment I'd left underneath it. And he left a comment on my 2024 Senate prediction for the month of May, which was at that time the most recent video I had made. And here's what he said for his comment. Apparently, I've harassed your channel. All I've done is support you watching all of your videos. To bash me, your literal biggest supporter, says a lot, yet it's noted. Never have to worry about me being on your channel. I'm somehow aggressive and obnoxious, all these other extremely racially charged terms. I'll make sure to note that. Good luck. Um, then I responded with this, and I said this. It's not just about me, it's what you've said to other YouTubers that frustrates me. I've tried to be respectful of your opinions, and I gave you the benefit of the doubt. I could have blocked or lashed out at you, but I wanted to be respectful. I even wished you luck when you went to boot camp, yet after all of that, when I was acknowledging my mistakes, I felt that you were taking credit for correctly predicting these races, even though you never went out of your way to make a video. If you want that credit, put in the time and effort to make content like I do. I appreciate the support you've given me in this past year. I regret commenting on that post today, especially after you've been more respectful as of late, but I won't tolerate people who verbally insult others online, even if I don't like some of the people that they harass. I'm truly sorry this has to end this way. Um, you know, Military elections forecasting, if you're watching this, I know this sounds really loaded and, it's probably really hard to believe, but I truly am sorry for what I said about you. Since this incident, I've contemplated making an apology video, but I was of the opinion that it was better to let the issue die rather than give it more life. But that changed a couple days ago because I discovered that you left another response to my comment claiming that he'd started his own YouTube channel. For some reason, I can't see it on here. I guess YouTube has this weird thing where like it won't show all of the comments that are on my videos if there are too many. I guess it's very odd. I'm not sure why it happens. So I was unaware of this, and I either wasn't notified of the comment or somehow missed the notification. Now, this is probably going to get confusing for you. I'm gonna ask y'all to bear with me because I completely screwed up and I didn't realize that military elections forecasting had already let me know about his political channel before he said this and before I, said all this crap. So back in April, I released my updated prediction for a 2024 presidential matchup between Biden and Trump. MEF under his Jim Landia account left a comment, as you can see down here. But then he also commented on his military elections forecasting account on the same video. This is what he said. This is Jim Landia's political channel, and I had responded at the time. When I first read the comment, I didn't realize that this was the same person as Jim Landia, and I thought this person was mocking and referring to my channel as Jim Landia's because he'd left a positive comment on that video. I don't know why I didn't make the connection that this was clearly the same person that Tornado Sam was referring to in his post before I wrote that comment. I don't know. It's beyond me why I made that mistake. But nonetheless, this realization on my part revived my desire to make this video because it showed that I was wrong and misinterpreted your words on multiple occasions. So military elections forecasting after all this confusion and nonsense, I want to say again that I am sorry for what I did, and I'll also say that I've subscribed to your political channel on not just this account, not just Political Junkie 2414, but also on my other account, Interactor127, which is my non-political channel. I'm going to continue to support your channel because I honestly view it as my debt to you for supporting mine and, also to make up for my mistakes. And to be honest, I hesitated before leaving that comment on Tornado's post because I didn't agree with everything he said about you. But at that time, I felt that there would be no other opportunity to express my frustration with you. I think that Tornado's post made me realize that I wasn't the only person who felt this way, and it inspired me to do something that ultimately wasn't justified. It isn't an excuse, but I feel that I must explain why I did what I did. And I now see that my frustration was the result of misinterpreting your comments and seeing them more as criticizing me for the sake of criticism rather than what they actually were. Comments that I shouldn't have taken so personally. I'm imperfect, I'm sensitive, I screwed up, and I'm sorry. I hope we can start from scratch and put this behind us, and thank you if you are listening to this. So yeah, so that's the video, guys. If anyone besides military elections forecasting also watched the whole video, thank you as well. If you like the video and want to see more, subscribe if you haven't already, and give the video a like. It helps out more than you think. If you want to see more content, check out the videos on your screen, and also check out my non-political channel, Interactor127, and my comrades channel, Growlingzoo666. Again, Jim Landia, or military elections forecasting, that I seriously regret what I did, and that I wish that I never had to make this video, but I kind of felt like that this was something I needed to address, especially after learning that you had taken my advice and made your own channel, and I didn't realize it. I made a lot of mistakes. I misinterpreted what you said, and yeah, I hope that this. I hope we can get past this, but yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time when I talk about all things politics. See ya.